You're listening to the Yeshiva of Newark at IDT podcast. I'm your host and curator, Rabbi Abram Kibalevich, and I hope you enjoy this episode. You've bought your tickets. The ushers are about to open the doors. Yes, the Projectionist Has Semicha is about to start. But first, you've heard me on this platform touting NRS, a great company whose many dedicated employees I get to see in action. NRS Pay has recently launched its new cost-cutting program called Cash Discount. The way it works is any vendor using NRS Pay Cash Discount has their sale register tabulating automatically a dual pricing, which offers customers a choice of a cash payment, which could result in up to a 4% discount over swiping their card. If your business meets the $18,000 a month threshold, there's absolutely no monthly fee to incur. NRS Pay Cash Discount makes it less expensive to accept credit cards, so you'll save money while helping your customers save at the same time. NRS is offering a time-limited deal right now on this state-of-the-art system. You'll get a free card reader with zero hidden fees, no long-term contract, and no early termination fee, which means you can switch your processing plan without penalty. NRS Pay is a proud part of the IDT Corporation that I've been associated with for over 10 years and has integrity built into its corporate DNA. I know its founder and officers and salespeople, and they truly stand by their product and will help you with live stateside-based customer service on any issue or question. Check nrspay.com for more information or call 833-289-2767. And now here's the Projectionist Has Semicha. Enjoy. Clear the aisles, the Projectionist Has Semicha. I'm here with the Kolakowski family. We're talking about the significance of television families, specifically the Keaton family, who are, I think, the residents of some mythical Ohio city.
Columbus, Ohio.
They're from Columbus?
Again, they're not from a mythical city. They're actually living in Columbus. Right, exactly. And of course, ostensibly, the story is about Steve and Elise Keaton. But of course, the real stars of the show are definitely the children, especially one Michael J. Fox, who I guess this was his real entryway into stardom, maybe even superstardom eventually. And I know that the Kolakowski family are big chassidim of Family Ties, which was, of course, conceived by a Jewish fellow like Gary David Goldberg, right?
Yeah.
He was the person who thought of the whole program, and he was the one who cast all the different actors and actresses. And of course, Meredith Baxter Birney, she was married to a Jewish fellow for a while, David Birney. And of course, she was the original, sort of the updated Abie's Irish Rose in a sitcom that I remember that took a lot of the Jewish world by storm. Bridget loves Birney.
Right. Mayor Kahana wrote a whole article about that, I remember.
David Birney was actually one of the original stars of St. Elsewhere, playing a Jewish doctor. You know, Meredith Baxter, I think now she's a very big advocate for all different types of alternative lifestyles, right? I think after being married, she's attracted to women at this point. You could say that Family Ties was probably her most successful program. Clearly, it was Michael J. Fox's entryway into stardom. And I know that the Kolakowski kids, why do you guys like the show so much? I mean, this show is a show that's over 40 years old. Why does the show appeal to you guys? Let's hear from
It's running in our house. I come home and that's all that's playing. I go to sleep, that's what's playing. It's Erev Vaykev V'Tzarayim. We have Family Ties going.
I'll wait.
And if you guys want to explain why you like the show so much?
I'll give my opinion. I feel like it can be relatable in some ways. Obviously not most of the time, but in some ways. It is extremely hilarious. Like, the timing and the jokes are amazing. The actors act incredibly well in the show. The quality, even of how it's filmed, is filmed so well. And it's, like, so nice to watch. Like, even as someone that was born in the late 2000s, it's interesting for me to watch something that seems more high quality, even though it's from the 80s. And it's just interesting to watch things from back then.
So you're giving us sort of a multi-tiered answer. Who's by the way, who's talking now? Is this
Faggy?
So Faggy, it's sort of like a multi-tiered answer. On one level, you're saying you just think it doesn't have the seams and rips that other television shows. It seems to be very well put together.
Yeah.
But you also are saying that it sort of speaks to you, even though your family isn't like that. But you also feel that it sort of transports you back about 40 years, and you get to see a little bit what life was like and how it's changed. Do you think, you guys are raised in a Hasidic family, a very traditional, strong Jewish family. Do you see that there's do you believe the Keatons had the same type of strength? What do you think? I mean, they aren't particularly religious. I think there might be some episodes where they go to church. It's not their faith. What do you think keeps them so strongly bonded together?
Well, I mean, their parents,
They have chill parents.
yeah, they were hippies when they were like younger. So all they want is peace. So I guess what's keeping them together is like teaching each other. There's actually an episode that we just watched. Both parents get really mad at one of Alex's teachers at a PTA meeting, and they both punch him in the face, and then they regret it immediately because they're like, you shouldn't use violence, that's wrong. And then by the end of the episode, Alex is supposed to get like some written thing from him. So he is like about to punch him. You can see that he has his hand in a fist, but he puts it down because that's what his parents taught him. So I guess that's your answer to your question.
It's a good answer. In other words, basically, you feel that even though they've changed because they're no longer the hippies that they were 15 years earlier, they still have some of the idealism that kept them together. Steve, I think, is a station manager of the public television station. I believe so, right? What is it that Elise does? Does she have a job on the show?
No, she's an architect.
She's an architect. So she's sort of like Mike Brady. Are there any episodes where you see her dealing with architecture at all?
Yeah.
There's
Episodes where it shows like her trying to balance a family life and a work life.
But do you ever hear her talking about, because on the medical shows, like the protagonists in the program, whether they've been they've obviously been fed their lines of what to say, but you can see how passionate they are about curing people, about diseases and trying to find stuff. Does she ever talk about housing? Does she ever talk about she talks about what architecture is, about having homes that fit into the surroundings and beautiful brickwork, or does she ever do that? I don't even remember ever doing that on the show.
An episode where they're trying to knock down the first building she ever.
Oh, they're knocking down the first building that she was the architect for.
She's protesting it because she feels a connection to this building. It was the first thing.
I was talking to your father off pod about how this is one of the programs that, a supporting actor eventually became like the main character. Originally, it was mostly supposed to be about Steve and Elise, and their son, Alex, of course, played by Michael J. Fox, eventually became really the main emphasis of the show, and his growing up and his graduating and his life in college. Were you guys happy with Michael J. Fox becoming like the center of the program?
Yes.
Yeah, they met him actually.
I understand that some of you actually met Michael J. Fox recently.
That's what I'm saying. They are so obsessed with him that it doesn't really. They don't care.
So in other words, you like the fact that Michael J. Fox sort of took the show over.
Yes.
Now, we all know Michael J. Fox is not who he was. Not only is he much older, but of course, just about 8 years after the Family Ties premiered, very much a young person, so only about 30 years old, he developed the beginnings of Parkinson's disease, which he hid for a number of years because he thought he wouldn't be able to get acting gigs, but it was clearly affecting him in many, many terrible ways. And you saw Michael Fox recently, and of course he's the subject of a documentary which is now showing on Apple TV called Still. I only saw the first half of it. I heard you guys watch the whole thing. Does it make you very sad seeing Michael young and vibrant and knowing now the type of struggles that he has with his issues?
It doesn't make me sad. I feel like he's very strong. He doesn't want to be the Neb, and he isn't.
Right. He is very anti being an object of pity. But he doesn't want you to pity him, so therefore you don't?
No, I don't. I feel like he is making the best out of a situation that he can't control.
So would you say he's a hero for you in some ways?
I don't know.
Well, I'm saying because, you don't maybe have his difficulties, but maybe sometimes when you think about things being difficult and you could say, well, look what Mike Fox is doing. Look at the fact that he's, he has to learn how to walk, how he has to train himself for things which we all take for granted, and how open he is, and how it makes you not want to be sorry for yourself. A hero is something that can inspire you when you think of it. In other words, in your situation, whatever it could be, you could say, look, I'm going to have that same type of strength. I mean, that's the reason why we tell stories about heroes. So I would say, probably, it sounds definitely he's not only has he, I think, taken his illness in a heroic way, he's worked very hard on behalf of making people aware of how terrible Parkinson's is. And I know that many years ago, he was extremely vocal about finding a cure for Parkinson's. My father-in-law suffered from it, and one of my best friends has it. And I've seen the ravages of what he can do, of course. And Michael Fox realized that as a celebrity, he might bring a greater publicity to what's happening, and using his celebrity. I mean, he's raised millions and millions of dollars. He even raised $300 from the Kolakowski family, I understand.
Yeah. Of my dollars that I made working hard.
You were babysitting? How did you make $300?
I made water bottle holders.
You made water bottles?
Water bottle holders. It's like something you put around your neck and you put the water bottle in. Crocheted.
Oh, it sounds like you should go on Shark Tank, maybe. You guys could maybe get some investments in there.
You can give more money to Michael K. Fox.
I thought the show sort of didn't need to have Andy. What do you guys think?
They put Andy because
she got pregnant, actually. Meredith Baxter Birdie got pregnant. The pregnancy with Andy coincided with the actual real-life pregnancy of Meredith Baxter?
Yes.
I'll tell you, I like the show, but there's one character I really do not like on the show. Who do you think that is?
Nick. If you say Nick, I'll punch you.
It's not Nick. I like Nick. Who do you think is the character that I really don't believe is the same type of actor as everyone else? There's a lot of wonderful television series where every actor is sort of almost perfect and they work great. This program has one person who's a key member of this family, I'm already giving it away, who I really don't believe.
Skippy.
No, Skippy is tremendous. Come on. Skippy is tremendous. Skippy Handelman, the Jewish next door neighbor, of course. He's great. Adopted, but he's still a Jew. He's a Jew, yes. Talking about Jennifer.
Of course, I knew it. You love
Jennifer is not she's supposed to be so smart. She's even as smart as Alex is, and she's supposed to be a great athlete. I really never bought Tina Yothers at all. I never really bought her. She's not terribly cute, and she's not such a great actress.
Don't say that. Yeah. Don't say that.
People tell her she looks like her.
People tell who?
They tell my mother that she looks like Tina Yothers.
She looks like Tina Yothers. Okay. My point is, on television, everybody has to be a superstar. You know what I'm saying? None of us can be television stars, all right? We're all... What? You think you could be a TV star? Okay. My point is, though, don't you think, though, forget about her looks. Don't you think, even in terms of her acting ability, it's almost like you can tell she's reading the lines. You can almost tell she's reading the cue cards.
Especially in the later seasons. Like in the first season...
Well, then she's so young,
Star character.
Yeah, I think this always happens when you have very small children. So, they just have to be a little bit cute and, as long as they don't get in the way. But, as the episodes, some of them centering on her growing up, her having a boyfriend, her feeling too intellectual, I almost want to turn off the show. Like when I know she's the center of the program, I know the show isn't going to be as moving. There's another thing I think about Family Ties. do you think it's a complete comedy, or is there some drama in it as well for you?
There's
Dramedy.
definitely drama.
It's not told dramedy. It's not
Whole dramedy, but there's
No.
definitely
it's
a
definitely
lot
very
of
dramatic.
Serious episode.
Yeah,
So in other words, so it might, on this program, we sort of talk about, we try to put things in perspective, guys. So it could be this was one of the first shows that wasn't just yuck, 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 like laugh all the time. It had a certain, even though you knew you were going to get the laughs, whether it was from Nick or from mostly Mallory, right?
mostly from Alex. Actually. Alex was usually the character.
Yeah, you're right. I'm saying he's the butt of the joke. He's not but Mallory was always, the bubblehead, the one who doesn't get anything, right? Justine Bateman has to play as if she's as no intelligence whatsoever, and she's just,
But Mallory has a higher IQ than Alex, so.
Yeah, I was that one of the episodes? It doesn't sound.
Yeah.
It seems like that's sort of like that's ever stretching it.
Well, they attack a lot of very serious issues, racism, and
They say Jewish people in the very first episode.
Wow.
Look, it's clear that the show is a product of its time. They were trying to deal with some adult issues. I think that one of the things that bothered me about the show was that you knew when they said, let's leave them alone. They need to talk. We got to get out of the kitchen. Like that happens almost in every episode. Like as the
Jennifer's always like, come on, Andy, let's go upstairs.
And you knew that moment was going to be the message of the program. That, okay, you don't have to try to show off. I'm sorry what I did to you. I had to learn a lesson. Like you knew something was going to happen in the kitchen that would somehow be the message you would.
One episode they kept saying, we have to go do the thing. And then they were like, we're going to go in the living room and watch movie. And Steven goes, which movie? And Elise goes, The Thing. And Steven's like, what are you talking about? We've seen that movie a million times. And then he just goes, oh, The Thing.
I see.
I mean, was that one of the shows that, like, I remember in the 80s, the bumpers, the advertised episode, like, and now a very special episode.
Very special episode.
Was there a lot of very special episodes of Family Ties? Or?
Yes. There were a lot of episodes.
I think there was one. There was one that was a continuing episode where his friend commits suicide, right?
No, that was one episode, and it was Mallory's friend. There's one episode.
Where was the episode where Alex? There's like an episode that's
his friend gets in a car crash, and he questions
his friend gets in a car crash. But I remember it's a double episode, right?
Yeah.
Right, and there's some big speech that he makes, like at the very end, and he has to go to a psychiatrist, right? And he has to talk about his pain that he's having. I actually thought that was a little bit too weepy and too dramatic. I think no.
It's not. No. I can tell from personal experience, it's not at all
too dramatic.
Well, I guess for my taste, I guess
dramatic?
I thought that it was sort of like telegraphing where it was going. Like you knew Alex was gonna have to have this epiphany where he'd have to come make peace with this idea and live with it, and that was going to be this big moment. I think the audience, even because it was all filmed in front of a live audience, even the audience like applauds. I think at that time, I agree with you. Alex is Michael J. Fox's timing was great, and I think, like I say, Justine Bateman played her role very, very well. I always felt a lot of sympathy for her because you can tell like she struggled with the fact that she's in a family of very smart people and she's not like her parents at all. Right. She loves fashion. She just wants to, look good. And she's not interested in going to these colleges like her mother and father did.
No, that's true. She makes a career out of what she loves.
But it's interesting that it takes a while for her parents to understand that about her. And I always thought that, she had that plight. Do you guys recognize, of course, you live with your father, who's a pretty right-wing guy. You realize how Republican and that's part of the comedy of the program is that they're very liberal and their son is a conservative. Do you guys find yourself agreeing with a lot of Alex's political opinions as well?
No, but I see
We
that
don't really-
my
we're not really
father
political.
agrees with them.
You're not what?
We're not very political.
We're 15. I'm 15.
Alex was also supposed to be 15. And of course, he was very political.
17.
I think when the show starts, I think he's supposed to be 15 or 16, right?
He's 17.
He's 17 when the show starts?
Yes, and Mallory is 15 and Jennifer is 9.
Okay. Again, I haven't done my homework today. But do you guys understand what it means that he likes the Republicans and he believes Richard Nixon was a very great man? Does that go over your head, or do you guys understand what that's about?
I understand,
We understand because we live with this man.
We live with our father, and also
And we go to
at
school.
school it's very political as well. So we
In other
know
words, the school that you go to is if it's political, it's more conservative, right wing. So you get that. What about the fact that one of the things that Alex believes in very strongly, not just his politics, but his idea of economy, of making money, how important that is to be able to obtain wealth. And that if you don't want to obtain wealth, there's something wrong with you. Do you guys believe there's a sickness in Alex's character, or do you?
No, we also like money.
Or you guys also like making money?
only them. Only them.
No, you also love making money. We all love making money.
No, I'm having a hard time knowing exactly who I'm talking to, but I know I'm talking to a group of 3, right? 3 of you. Okay.
Yeah.
And who came to my house? Razy was at my house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Razy's in the middle, right? Razy in the middle.
Yes.
Razy, Sora, and Faggy, right?
Yes. Sir Session.
Okay. The oldest is Faggy,
Yes.
and then Razy, right?
Yeah.
And then Sora. Family Ties, of course, did last for a number of years, right? How many years was it on, Yitzchak?
From
And-
1982 to 1989.
Right.
When was the first episode?
First episode was
September
September
22.
22nd, 1982.
Yeah. I think eventually Mallory ends up marrying Nick, right?
Well, it's
We
never
don't-
confirmed.
We do
but
not see it in the show, but according to Google, they do get married.
In other words, fan fiction about it, they do get married.
No, it's confirmed. It's not in the show.
It's confirmed not in the show, but
It's
Canon. It's canon. It's not fan.
And of course, one thing that the documentary made very clear
that
was
I never saw.
after tonight, maybe your parents will let you watch the documentary. But in the
No, there was a movie, and it's not streaming anywhere. And I'm very upset.
Was
It's on
it was
YouTube.
just called Family Ties?
Family Ties Vacation.
They go
They go to London.
And it's a TV movie, or
Yes, it's a TV movie.
released? It wasn't released theatrically.
No.
what I was going to say was the documentary still made it very clear that the Tracy Pullman character was introduced as Alex's love interest as this when Alex was in college. At the same time she was introduced into the cast, there also became a real live romance between Alex and her. And of course, they're still married. I mentioned to you guys that, of course, she's a Jewish girl. Her brother is a award-winning writer, Michael Pollan. And Tracy Pollan also has written a cookbook of Jewish recipes as well. And they've raised their kids as Jews, knowing they're Jews. Is it implied that Alex and what's Tracy's character's name and the
Ellen.
is it implied that she and Ellen are going to get married, or they?
No, she moved to Paris.
She moves to Paris, so they sort of break up. I
Yeah.
think for a while, by the way, and one time was Alex's girlfriend on the show.
For 2 seasons.
For how many seasons was it?
2 seasons.
For 2 seasons, right? So it's interesting that they didn't feel they wanted to marry Alex off on the show.
I guess not.
Yeah, I guess again, part of it was, where would they go? I mean, if he gets married, then he's not living at home anymore, so he's not interacting.
That's the last episode. Alex doesn't live here anymore.
Right. Alex leaves, but they knew that was going to be. But if Alex would have gotten married earlier in the show, I mean, how would they explain how he's still around? He was such an important part of the program. So I think that we've gone through a lot of this program with you guys. And we've discovered that it resonates. I think you guys have been very articulate. You've answered the questions, I think, pretty well. I mean, Alex would give you at least a B+, I think, on the way you guys answered tonight. And maybe Mallory and Jennifer would give you guys an A. But I think you definitely got a solid B+ from Alex, and Jennifer and Mallory give you guys an A for being part of our program tonight. So don't make a promise, but hopefully you guys will come back, tell us some more about some of the great shows that you guys like and why you like it. And for everybody else, watch your step on the way out, everybody. We'll catch you later. Be well. Have a wonderful, wonderful Sukkot. Take care. Thanks for joining us for another episode from the Yeshiva of Newark at IDT Podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a single episode.